Welcome to HomeFront SitRep. I hope you're in for a great show today because I'm just a veteran talking about what's on my mind and maybe yours.
You can find HomeFront SitRep on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. You can also check out HomeFront SitRep's YouTube channel.
Buckle up, the show is starting.
Battlefield, same damn life. No spotlight shining on the ones who serve. Just great sacrifice and a whole lot of nerve. From small town shops to a helping hand, we're lifting each other, yeah, that's the plan. No red tape, no filter, no disguise. Just truth in the fire behind our eyes. This is HomeFront SitRep. Hear the call, where the real ones rise and the fallen stand tall. Every voice matters, every story's legit. We're family here. This is HomeFront SitRep. From the shadows to the spotlight we step. Yeah, this is HomeFront SitRep. From the scars we carry to the lives we reveal. From the weight of silence to the strength of will. Non-profits grinding, boots on the street. No headlines chasing, just mission complete. Veteran alone, still chasing the dream. From a mic to a message, we're building a team. Creators and fighters, yeah, we all belong. Turn the pain into purpose, turn the hurt into song. No politics, no games, no divide. Just warriors standing side by side. This is HomeFront SitRep. Hear the call, where the real ones rise and the fallen stand tall. Every voice matters, every story's legit. We're family here. This is HomeFront SitRep. From the shadows to the spotlight we step. Yeah, this is HomeFront SitRep. Oh, we don't forget, we don't walk away. We carry each other through every day. From combat boots to a boss to a seat, still standing tall, still hard to defeat. Real stories, real impact, real people. This ain't just a podcast. This is a movement. This is HomeFront SitRep, loud and clear, for the ones still fighting year after year. Every voice matters, every story's legit. We're family here. This is HomeFront SitRep. Yeah, we rise, we grind, no regrets. Welcome to HomeFront SitRep.
Welcome, everybody, to a Sunday edition of HomeFront SitRep. How is everybody doing? Gunny, welcome back. How are you doing, sir?
Better than I was last week. That's for daggum sure. Not better than I was 2 weeks ago. I got to go home and see my family. My youngest decided that's what he wanted to do for spring break. And I was like, man, why can't we just go up during the summer, dude? It's like 30, 20 degrees. No, let's do this in the summer. But no, it was cool. I got, he wanted to go see my family and spend time with them. So we got to hang out with my brother, my mom, my stepdad, and my nieces, my nephews, the whole family, my both my sisters. So we had a good time. Got to enjoy a lot of the restaurants that I grew up eating at, and taking the wife and Miles to that. And then we, I woke up, I guess Wednesday morning on the way back, and didn't feel so well, and drove the 16 hours back home, and next thing you know, I'm in the hospital for 4 days. So got out last Saturday, was still weak Sunday and Monday, so I wasn't able to join the show. But this week on the upswing, getting healthier, getting stronger. But yeah, it's been a journey. Went to the
Well, I'm
Reds
glad
game,
you're back.
watched them lose miserably to the Angels. Man, there was a young kid in front of us. He's like, "Oh, I just want to see a grand slam. I just want to see a grand slam." Sure enough, the Angels made
The
that
wrong
happen for
team.
that
The
young
wrong team got it.
man. Yeah, but it was the first fireworks Friday of the year, so I got to do that. Take Miles to see that. My friend Ferd, his company gets season tickets, and they let the employees have them for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So yeah, we got the invite to go and couldn't pass it up. So yeah, it was a good time, and I'm glad to be back back on the upswing. I know Julie was happy when the Blue Devils took the L against UConn,
Yeah,
but Michigan came back and made me
took it
happy.
all.
Yeah.
What's up, Shannon Book? How are you, sir? So my daughter starts that senior assassins thing, right?
Oh
So
yeah.
I got her a water gun, and she just came down here and snuck around and squirted me, and then it's got my laptop's right here too, and she got it slopping wet. I'm like, what the heck, bro? But anyway,
Yeah, they do Dart Wars up here. So
okay,
it's the Nerf guns up here. So
okay.
I mean, we've had them running through the yard and peeling out of the neighborhood. I'm like, dadgummit, it's at that time of
Yeah,
year
it
again.
starts it starts tomorrow, man. She's super excited. So now I got to help her be sneaky. And the thing is her target that she has is a high profile student. So she's a double athlete in two different sports, and so yeah, I got to help her. I got to help her, but I wasn't expecting to get slopping wet on a podcast, and plus my laptop. I'm hoping it doesn't mess my laptop up, but
Right. Well, just go visit the Geek Squad. They'll take care of you.
yeah, I need to take my mini PC and figure out what's going on with it too. Uh, Julie said, and Boo Duke.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, they made it further than UK, so that's all I care about.
Was it made it further than UK and Louisville? So I can't really say much. You can't say anything. I'm not going to say who it is, Julie Marie. But anyway, man, I'm glad you're back. I'm glad you're on the upswing, because I know you're getting ready to get into your busy season with team fast tracks and everything else that you got going on.
Dude, I'm out the
So
door. I'm out the door the next 3 weekends. It's Virginia Tech on Saturday for their spring game, and then the weekend after that, it's the wife and I at a marriage retreat reunion down in Florida, and then we get back Sunday. Wednesday, I'm on a plane to Japan.
yeah, Eva Cooney's will be fun this time of year.
Yeah, so I'll get back I think our flight comes home the 5th, so I'll get home the night of the 5th. So I'll miss um next weekend. I'll be good because I'll be home Saturday night. But the next 2 weekends after that, I'm gone.
Yeah, you'll be out the door, out
Yeah,
the
and
door.
I'm 13 hours ahead. And I think on the Sunday show, that will be Monday morning, and I'm on a
Yeah,
flight to Tokyo.
yeah,
And then on the Monday show, um, we'll
you'll be
be
the
at the airport getting ready to come home. So
yeah.
if it wasn't for that, I'd get on for sure, and at least 4 or 5 minutes. But
Well, I remember the last time you were over at Eva Cooney last year. You were in the airport. Listen, typing in the comments. So
yeah,
I already know that you're getting ready to get stupid busy. So I'm not too worried about that. We can handle it down here. We can hold down the home front. Man, I tell you what, I'm super excited about tonight's guest. We've had a wide variety of different veterans on here, ranging from veteran authors, veteran singers, veteran comedians, business owners, which is, and plus all the nonprofits that we've had on from across the
yeah,
country. So this one kind of fits a double. It's kind of like a double, because he is a veteran. he's also a comedian, but it's also a nonprofit, which is super cool as well.
Yeah.
So, we get to hit both ends of the spectrum because he's got the comedy tour, plus it's a nonprofit. And I'm super excited about it. And plus he's a Marine. I mean, can't get no better than that. I mean, that's a trifecta right there, right?
This show is going to go off the rails real quick. 3 of us in the same dang stinking room.
Well, yeah, it might go off the rails. I mean, we'll see. I mean, when we had Brandon Johnston on, the Marine Corps veteran from South Kakalaki, that's also a comedian as well. It did kind of go off the rails just a little bit.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's expected.
It's expected for sure. So you can go check out rapidfirecomedytour.org. That's rapidfirecomedytour.org, which I'll throw that link up on the screen here in just a little bit. But without further ado, you ready to bring him up?
For sure.
Let's do it. All right. Welcome to the show, sir. How are you?
I'm doing good, gentlemen. Thanks for having me. How you guys doing?
Well,
Doing well. Yeah,
thank
thanks
you
for taking the time to come on.
Yeah. First off, like Gunny just said, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to come hang out with us. Do me a favor and introduce yourself to the world of HomeFront SitRep, if you don't mind.
Sure. My name is Michael D'Angelo. I was born and raised in Las Vegas. I'm a comedian. I'm a writer, Marine veteran. My comedy is shaped by my life. I'm between the hard lessons and my obsession with being truthful and honest about life on stage. I was raised in a city that's kind of built on spectacle. And now I'm living in LA, chasing this career of stand-up comedy, trying to, one, get better at it. Had to come to one of the big cities and surround myself with a lot of the killers so that I could, put myself in that pressure cooker. And at the same time, trying to build the career so I can go out on the road and do shows. And I started a nonprofit called the Rapid Fire Comedy Tour, where I go out and produce live comedy shows to military, first responders. I mean, really anybody, anywhere. But the heart of it is trying to get out there in front of the military anytime, any place. These guys are in the middle of whatever the government wants them to go do. And I let them know, like, hey, if you guys are out at the range, you guys out in the dirt, wherever you're at, I got all the gear. I'll come set it up for you guys and do a show. And it's amazing. It's the best crowds in the world. And when all the comedians I bring have a good time, I have a good time. And it's becoming my main thing now. That's kind of all I want to do. And now I'm just trying to spread the word. A lot of people don't know about us. So I'm out here just doing podcasts like you guys and trying to share the story.
So what's it like doing comedy in LA? I mean, just for the simple fact, there's so many, like you said, so many legends of comedy that's out there in that area. I can name just quite a few of them just off the top of my head. What's it like trying to compete, with the legends out there and doing it, in the comedy clubs there in Los Angeles?
Well, LA is a lot of fun because there are so many clubs out here. There's so many shows going on, not even just at clubs, independent shows, little things that people are producing on their own, and back rooms, bars, little event spaces. So it's a lot of opportunity to grow, and it's very exciting. It's also it's a really great feeling to be in a city like this where there are so many artists. There's so many people that are excited about what they're doing. They're out here to figure it out and to learn, and there's that natural excitement. There's that natural, like, you meet people, you talk to them, they're jacked. They're like, oh man, tonight, tomorrow night, I just moved here, whatever. Everybody's really excited, and it's a great energy to be around. It helps you. It's kind of like just surrounding yourself around people that have. It's like you want to stay young, you stay around young people. You want to stay excited, you stay around excited people. Yeah. So there's that. But as far as like the competition and constantly comparing yourself, being in a place where there are the best of your field nightly, and you can go see them, or if you're working at a comedy club, which I did for the first 4 years I was out here, you're constantly analyzing and measuring up and critiquing and trying to figure out what your thing is and how it measures up. And it can be stressful, but more than stressful, it's like a steel sharpens steel sort of thing. You know, it's much more of a, depends on how you look at it, depends on the person. But for me, it's always been like, I go watch a show, I go see these guys, and I'm like, oh, I want to go home and write right now. I bring my notebook everywhere I go because that makes me want to work on my thing. That reminds me of my story about my thing, and I want to work on my thing. I need to go to an open mic right now. It just fuels you up, you know? So it's great. I love being in LA and doing it. It's why I moved out here.
Did you do any while you were still in?
No, I didn't do any comedy while I was in the Marine. I didn't start doing it until I got out.
Nice.
I got out and my back was all messed up, and I was kind of like having this moment where I got scared. I was like, man, I've always been such a physical, laborious person, and I don't know what I'm going to do now that I can't work like that anymore. And I was like, I'm going to have to get into like white collar stuff, sales. And I was like, I don't really know how to talk to groups of people that ain't Marines. So I was like, I got to figure out how to do like speaking in like a professional setting, or just, you know, explaining an idea to somebody and not making it some like, you know, weird thing. Like, you know, talking to Marines is easy, but so I was like, I'm going to go to an open mic. I've always liked comedy. I'll bring one of my notebooks because I've always been writing down stuff, you know, like funny stories, weird stuff, ideas, jokes. It's like, I'm going to go to open mic and see if I can, you know, get over this fear of like talking in front of people. And I didn't have like this banger set where I was like, oh, I'm going to be a comedian. It wasn't that. It was just, I had a good time. It was free. It was legal. I didn't get in trouble. I was like, oh, I like this. This is fun. An adrenaline rush. I was like, I'm in. And that's kind of, I literally, like the month I got out, I started doing stand-up.
So if you had to pick out of all the comedians that are out there right now, who would you say your comedic styled after, kind of, sort of? I know you're your own thing, but who would you say you might best resemble out there right now?
That's a tough question. That's tough. I like to, there's a lot of people I look up to that I'm sure I emulate their style, but I couldn't say that I'm like them. I think my style kind of resembles, and I mean, he's a GOAT, so like I'm nowhere near where he's at skill wise, but my style resembles a lot of Dave Attell, because he's pretty wild. He's pretty rough around the edges. He's got late night style humor, but also when you look at, like, you know, there's like a million ways to skin this comedy cat, and a lot of people get caught up in like there's a certain way to do it. There's just a lot of ways to do it. There's no one way to do it. But where you might see a lot of people do this thing where they start a set, they start a show, and they talk about something and they go in a circle, they come back, and then bam, we're right back where it all ties together. Mine's not necessarily like that. I have some stuff that's kind of like that in a short form, but like my whole set is kind of like, here's this thing, and I thought about this, and this one time, and over here, and then there's this, and you ever do this, and Attell is kind of like that, you know. He's not so much like there's like a quote I have from him that is like, you know, people always trying to figure out how to like transition. How do I go from talking about this to talking about this? And it's like, forget transitions, man. Just change the subject. You know, like I'm talking about this now. You know, if the crowd's good and the show's going well, you just use laughter as a transition. You tell a joke, they laugh, you take a beat, next joke. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, there's not real transitions in conversations either, right? Especially in the Marine Corps. It's, you got this guy over here talking about bull peanuts. I'm like, what'd you just say to me? Bull penis? No. And he spells it out, and it spells boiled peanuts. I'm like, bro, that's boiled peanuts. He goes, yeah, it's bull peanuts. I'm like, and then the conversation just goes away from there, right? So it's kind of like being with your guys, right? That there's no real transition, that it's just here, now you're here, now you're here. You might come back over here, but as long as the crowd's in it, you know, it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah, you just kind of like get lost in what you're doing. You know, for early on in my career, and even sometimes now, you kind of get caught up in like, what's the crowd thinking? And you want to be able to read the room a little bit. You need to know when to pivot, but it's better to get lost in the material, you know, and in time, you know, as you get good and you have like a proven track record, you stop worrying about if they're going to like you, and you just kind of get after it. You don't even worry about like, what do I talk about next? It's like, I already know what I'm talking about next. I'm flowing, man. I'm not concerned.
So, there's a lot of veteran comedians out there right now, that are, not just regional, but like they're actually gaining some, recognition nationally, like Gary Owens, and there's another Marine guy. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but
Justin
there
Coverdale.
it might be. He's got like he always talking to Marines. I think he's out in California somewhere, but he's got dark brown hair, and it's crazy to see how many veterans go into comedy, because we use a lot of comedy when we're in the Marines or in the military, just because sometimes to deal with the darkness that we deal with on a day-to-day basis, we have to use humor, um, to live day by day. So I think it's super cool that here you are, you get out of the Marine Corps, you didn't know exactly what you're going to do. You found comedy, and laughter's healing. That's like Gunny. His reset is going out fishing. My reset is going out, hanging out in the woods, whether I'm hunting or just watching nature wake up. And you're using comedy as a form of healing. If am I wrong on that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, for myself and others.
Yeah. So let's see. So what made you decide to start going out to bases and doing comedy shows? I know like the USO used to do comedy shows for troops, deployed, stuff like that. I don't know if they still do or not. I know USO's changed over the years. So what made you decide to do this on your own, or have you looked into like doing shows for the USO or whatnot?
Yeah, it's a great question, and it's important to this whole story. Is so when I first moved to LA, I came out here to develop. I came out. I'd only been doing comedy for about 4 years in like dive bars and stuff like that in Las Vegas. And I got to this place where I realized I started coming to LA taking like classes, and I was taking like writing classes, and I was taking improv classes. I was trying to get better at the art form, trying to be better at performing. And after about a year of coming out to LA once a week for like classes and little shows, I was like, all right, I got to move out here. I want to get better. I want to develop. I want to jump in this big ocean. And then I came out thinking, all right, I'm about to, get all this stage time and really work and grow and learn. And I quickly realized that my comedy was bar room. I didn't think about it, but my comedy is like very bar room, Marine Corps, you know, rough stuff. I grew up just me and my dad. I get my humor from him. In fact, he's one of my biggest. I call him and run bits on him, and he laughs till he can't breathe. And I brought that to LA, and I was not welcomed with open arms, and I did not get as much stage time as I thought I was going to get. It was difficult. Just a new environment. LA has its own culture, and I had this moment where I got out here, and I came out here and lived in my car. I came out here and I was like, because I owned a little condo in Vegas, and I was like, I'm not about to pay my mortgage in Vegas and pay rent in LA. I'm not living with 10 dudes. I'm not doing that again. I'm good. So I was like, I'm just going to live in my car. So I come out living in the car. I get hired at the Hollywood Improv as a door guy like 4 days after I move here. So I'm like in the zone. I'm like, I'm working at a comedy club. I'm watching comedy all night. I'm getting like some shows, but I'm like, damn, I'm not getting nearly as much opportunity as I thought I would get to work on my stuff. And I was like, damn, like LA, this demographic doesn't really like me. Who is my crowd? What am I supposed to be doing? And I was kind of like thinking about, all these big guys at the time, like Rogan. I was like, he's got like jiu-jitsu guys and hunting guys and health and wellness. And, he has all these different demographics of people. And I was like, man, who likes me? Like, who's my demographic? And I realized all my buddies in the Marine Corps that told me like, yo, if you don't become a comedian, you're like wasting your life, man. Like just late night talking shit, saying crazy stuff, writing weird stories. And my buddies being like, yo, man, you should try stand-up. You should get into something like that. Or you're kind of like wasting a talent. And so when I came out, I was like, well, I'm in SoCal. You know what I should do? I should send some letters out. And I found a bunch of like Marine Corps unit addresses. And I sent 400 letters out all over the country, really, but mainly Southern California, sent 400 letters out to Marine Corps units being like, hey, I'm a Marine, I'm a comedian, I'll come perform for you guys anytime, any place for free. And they started hitting me up. I did the first show, Cinco de Mayo, 2018. I went alone. Now I bring a van full of comics. It's a whole experience, a lot of fun.
Nice.
But the first one I went alone. I was like, I don't know what to expect. This might be weird. This might suck. They might cancel it. It's a long drive down to Pendleton. I was like, I'm just gonna go alone, see what it is, see how it feels, check it out. And I went down there. I did 45 minutes for 250 Marines, and they treated me like I was in Dave Chappelle, man. They treated me. I was like, I had this click. I was like, oh, this is my crowd. Like, these are my guys. This is where I'm supposed to be. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. Holy shit. Like, this is it. And, you know, then I've spent the last 8 years doing shows and just mailing out letters, getting referrals, and kind of, you know, leads me into all the podcast stuff. It's like these shows come if like a unit, I still drop letters in the mail every week. Unit gets a letter, someone from a unit transfers to a new unit, they have a Warriors night or whatever, and they want to bring us out. But that's kind of how I get the shows. That's how I got into it.
Have any of the commands been like, hey, you cannot talk about X, or they just let you go free reign?
Yeah. So for the most part, so when I first started, right, I was wise to it. I was like, hey, maybe there was a suicide in the unit. You know what I mean? Maybe there's something crazy. You know, let me know if there's something you guys want to talk about. Like, I have a lot of jokes. You can tell me not to talk about certain things, and I got plenty of other stuff to talk about. So I would tell units that, and then they would say, you know, they'd hit me up like, yeah, don't talk about suicide, don't talk about the president, you know, blah, blah, blah. Fine. And then one time I stopped kind of doing that. It's a delicate balance, right? Because a lot of times these shows, they don't pay. And I'm trying to get more shows that pay, one, to fund the nonprofit so we can keep doing free ones for the military, but also when units do have money to be able to pay to donate to the nonprofit so that it all spreads out to the ones that can't afford. Right. But the ones that pay will typically like kind of stick their nose and be like, who are you? What are you talking about? Don't talk about this. And it's like, okay, all right, cool. I can do that. But like when a unit, like a grunt unit or some unit gets one of my letters and they're like, hey, we're doing like an exercise down at 29 Palms. We want you to come out on the last night before Transpo picks us up. I let them know. I'm like, all right, look, and what gate you want me to come through? What range you at? What time you want the show to start? How many bodies? And then also I go, just so you know, like we talk about like everything. We're talking about politics, race, gender, violence, religion, drugs, and many other subjects considered inflammatory. If you think that's a problem and your Marines might have a difficult time deciphering right from wrong, maybe you guys should get like a family-friendly comedy show to come out. And every time units are like, no, we're good. We teach independent thinking. Our Marines are smarter than that to like take things seriously or personally like that. And they're great shows. But one time early on, the only time I've had a show stop for content, a unit that was like, yeah, don't talk about, they were like, don't talk about female Marines and don't talk about, I think like drugs or something like that. It was like, good to go. And it was up it was at Bridgeport for Mountain Warfare Training Center. And I loaded a van up with like 9 comics, and we drove like 10 hours to get up there. We get up there, we do the show, and it started out, we were outside. There were like 500 Marines, and it's Bridgeport, so like the weather's like, it starts like ice raining on us. We end up like pushing 100 guys into a shipping container, and we start doing the show in there, and it's awesome. And then some captain comes up, and he's like, yo, we locked down the theater. Go to the theater. We're going to try and rally everybody to the theater. We end up getting a few hundred guys in this theater and do the show, and it's like we're crushing. It's on fire. This crowd is amazing. They're loving it. We're having a good time. And I'm out in the hallway with one of the other comics while somebody's on stage, and I'm like, dude, we're like jazzed. We're like, oh my God, this is awesome. We're killing it. You killed it. And this lieutenant colonel walks up on me, and he goes, I thought we said don't talk about women. And I was like, sir, I can show you the email I got. It says don't talk about female Marines. Nobody's talked about female Marines. He goes, I don't care. Shut it down. And I was like, damn, all right, whatever, dude. So I walked in there after the comic got off. I had one more comic to go up that didn't get to go up. And I was like, hey, guys, they told us that they don't like what we're talking about. We got to go. Show's over. And then he like got in front of these guys and started being like, would you talk this way in front of your mothers? Would you talk this way in front of your daughters? And everybody's just looking at this dude like, what are you talking about, dude? Like, they're not here. Like, this is a comedy show. This isn't the we're not what are you talking about? And we packed all our stuff up. I was like, I'm not going to stand here while this dude like badgers us. I'm like, we're leaving. So we packed all our stuff up, loaded the van, and then I waited outside of that auditorium, and every Marine came out and shook my hand. They're like, dude, you rock. Don't worry about that, dude. You were awesome.
Yeah.
There's always that one
like that.
Yeah, there's always that one fun sucker in each unit that does that stuff, and it drives me bonkers, man.
It's just proof that even if you follow that's why if you open the door to censorship, it's real like
Yeah.
slippery slope, man. You got to like let them know like, hey, this is what we're going to talk about. Is that cool? But if they do hit you with the censor, you got to, you got to play the game, man. If you want to make the money, you got to play the game.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, if you're going to a comedy show, you should know right away. There's no topic that's off limits. I mean, if you're going to a comedy show, you should know, especially if you're going to sit in the front row. I mean, look at like Matt Rife when he does his comedy show. Dude, there's nothing that's off limits to that guy. I mean, he don't care if you're in a wheelchair. He don't care. And then you got Matt Matthews. Is it Matt Matthews, the gay comedian? I forget. I think it's Matt Matthews. Dude, his stuff is off. There's nothing off. I mean, it's just like, come on, it's a comedy show. If you're going to go to a comedy show and get offended, you shouldn't go to a comedy show. I mean, flat.
You should probably take a Disney cruise.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that Lieutenant Colonel was just maybe he was having a day, and we all get to have our moments, and he had his.
Yeah. Yeah, but you guys got a good set in, right? I mean, it sucks for the one comedian that couldn't go up and do anything, and but those guys that were out there and girls that were out there at Bridgeport, is I've been there twice, and it sucks. It absolutely, there's nothing freaking there. And for you guys to go out there and do that, and the command to have you come in and do that just to give them a break, whether it's one of those weekends that they're down from the hill or whatever, just to get them out of the suck a little bit and give them a little bit of life and reality. I mean, that means a lot. I know when we were out there, we went to we had a chance to go to Reno or Tahoe.
Reno, yeah,
right. So we got to choose either or. But you go out there as a young, Lance Corporal PFC, and you're just blowing all your money in the casino and on alcohol and all the other fun stuff that's out there, right? But have somebody come in, and you don't have to leave the base, you don't have to transport everybody out, dude. I can imagine, me as a young Lance Corporal PFC having comedians come into Bridgeport just to break up the monotony and the suck.
Yeah, it was awesome, man. It's always a blast. All these shows we do, and we come out to the field for these guys, they come up after the show and they go, man, we didn't know what this was going to be. We thought this was going to suck, dude. We thought this was going to be whack. They're like, you guys rock, man. This was awesome. We needed this.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So I'm like Gunny. When we were in Bridgeport, man, there was nothing there. And we had the chance to go to Reno. Reno was fun, but I think I would rather had seen a comedy show than go to Reno. Just for the simple fact, here you are. What was E2? I think it was E1 the first time before I went to Reno. Actually, I got busted down. I went from E1 to easy, just a private. I went from private first class to private when we went to Reno, so I had no money. Of course, I won a little bit at the tables, but I think I would have rather seen a comedy show on base than friggin' go to Reno or Tahoe. But no, man, I just don't know if comedy, back then was as prevalent as it is now when it comes to being, on base. Granted, you had the USO tours with Bob Hope and all of that when people were deployed, but I don't think there was much for our era when we first joined.
I mean, the E-clubs were just standing back up. MWR was doing this transition thing where they were trying to do more for the single Marines. The single Marine program really hadn't even started yet, but it was in its infancy. But after I came off recruiting duty and got back, I think maybe after I got promoted to staff sergeant, you could see some of the things that were happening on base to keep the guys on base, right? Because you're over there, Iraq, Afghanistan, Kuwait, whatever deployment you're on, and you come home. And to keep these guys from getting out of trouble, they would bring entertainment on base and keep it on base.
Yeah. It's definitely a great way to keep guys from getting in their own way. Keep them on the base. And, some people talk about it as like mandatory fun, and it can be like, I felt that vibe before sometimes, but at the end of the shows, guys are usually come up and they're like, "This was awesome."
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
so
the
we had,
mandatory fund for most commands are hot dogs, hamburgers, chips, a soda, at the beach playing volleyball or, over at the park or something like that, right? It's really not fun. It's not building camaraderie. It's just like, here we friggin' go again. But you add that entertainment piece, especially with someone like you that can relate to, especially the infantry guys that are out there in the field, or any of the guys and gals that are out there in the field that know what they've been through, what they're going through, and you
Yeah.
can relate to them and just be like, hey, listen, I've humped the hog more times than I can count. Just get used to it, right? And they're like, what do you mean? This guy knows what he's talking about. The lingo and everything's there, and it's accurate. And oh my God, he was one of us at one time, And I think that just will resonate and does resonate with the younger Marines for sure, because the senior Marines are like, here we go again, one of these dudes,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we had that movie night where they marched us all up to a movie to watch it one night on base, and it was to build camaraderie. And it was like, man, I don't even remember the movie. It was that boring. And it's like, how can you build camaraderie when you're going to a friggin' movie and you can't talk? And yeah, so I would think I would prefer like a comedy show or something of that nature, just because it's fun. I mean, I love to laugh. And there's some really, really great comedians out there that sorry, there's a question on TikTok. I'll have to say it out here. But yeah, there's some really great comedians out there that, dude, it's nonstop laughing from a minute they open their mouth till they stop. And I'm pretty sure you're the same way when you're at a show and you have your followers that travel around with you around your local area, that your regulars that come in and they bring new people in. That's where that word of mouth. Hey man, you need to go check out this comedian, or you need to come to this show with us or whatnot. So what's the biggest crowd outside of military? So let's say you're at a club. What's like the biggest crowd you've ever performed in front of?
Oof, I think the biggest crowd I've ever done was probably in the main room at the Comedy Store. It was I was on episode 200 of Kill Tony way back in the day. That was like when I first moved to LA.
Nice.
Yeah, that's probably the most I've ever done to this day. Still, I haven't done big, and that's, I think, when they're sold out, I think they're like almost 400. I think they're like 380, 390. So yeah, I haven't done anything bigger than that. Usually my crowds are like 100 to 200, and I mean, obviously, you want to do big crowds, you want to sell out, make lots of money and all that shit. But usually right around 100, 200 is this sweet spot. It's like that room's perfect. You start getting into like really big places, and it can kind of change it's kind of a disconnect between you and the crowd when they get too big.
Yeah.
This is kind of what I hear and what I understand from the people that are doing it. But it's, the sweet spot is right around 200.
Nice. So there's a comment here on TikTok from Echoes Unfiltered that this is way off topic, but that is one fabulous Tom Selleck mustache.
Thanks, man. Yeah, you eat enough stuff off the ground at 7-Eleven, yours will get thick too.
Oh man. So let's say a comedy club in Kentucky wanted to reach out to you and say, hey, we want you to come to Kentucky. What process would they go about getting you to Kentucky for a comedy show here in Kentucky?
I mean, just hit me up and let me know what dates you want me to come down, and whatever, with the clubs, that's this whole career building thing right now, because the whole business model of comedy, you're working with comedy clubs, you're working with venues, so you got to be able to sell tickets. And so the club doesn't usually make money on the tickets; they make the money on the drinks or the beverage, the food and bev. So I can look at my email list that I have and see, like, all right, how many people I got in Kentucky. I don't think Kentucky's one of my big pull states, but if some club was like, no, man, we just like you, because that's another part of the model too, is like, I don't necessarily have to wait until I can sell 200 tickets in Kentucky to go there. if there's a club that's like on Fridays, we just have shows on the weekend anyways. People come out because that's what they want to do on a Friday or Saturday, and we're just looking for headliners. Then they could just book me anyways, and I might sell a handful of tickets for them, but to them, they're not thinking, will this guy sell a bunch of tickets for us? They're more of like, no, we like you, we think you're funny, we just want you to come out and headline, a couple shows for us. So it'd just be them reaching out to me, and then that's it, just booking a flight, man. I love doing one-nighters. This sounds crazy, but I love flying into a city like day of, doing the show that night, and then flying out late that night. It's something about like the fast action of it, because it's like being on the road is kind of lonely. You do a show and then you like go back to your hotel or your Airbnb, and you're such a night owl as a comic. Like you're like, all right, I either go out and drink and party and get into trouble, or I like stay in my hotel room and try to be chill, and try not to do anything. And then you gotta, you just like kind of kill time and wake up, and then you fly out the next day or whatever. If you're in like a cool city, people in the city, can be fun to go explore, but there's something exciting about flying in for the show and then bouncing out on a red eye. It's fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would love to come to Kentucky, man. It would just be that club reaching out and being like, yo, come on out. We want you to come.
Yeah, I do bounce out to Cali and then back home on the red eye quite often, like out the day of, do the show. I work with a professional skydive team, so we'll go at like the Stanford Stadium and jump for the San Jose Earthquakes, and we'll come home on the red eye, and it's like, I don't think I want to do this anymore. I'm too old for that. But then there's some days I'm like, I just want to get home. I sleep in my own bed, and if I lose 3 hours in the morning, I lose 3 hours in the morning. I don't care. I'm back home, right? I don't have to worry about it, tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm a bad sleeper too, and it just adds to cost. You're like, okay, now I got to get a hotel room. It turns the whole thing. It's like I'd rather just rough it up and go, and it's exciting,
Well, whenever Gunny travels, he usually has a delay somewhere. I don't think he doesn't have a delay somewhere. Like his travel gets messed up quite frequently. So
at least
I was
one
going to say,
at
least one leg of it. I was going to say we have quite a few veteran comedians here. Jamie Utley, Navy veteran. He used to tour with Ralphie May back in the day. He lives here in Kentucky. Who else? There's quite a few veteran comedians.
Bobby's down in Tennessee now.
Yeah, Bobby's down in Tennessee. So yeah, you know what? We're going to work on getting a veteran comedy showcase here in Kentucky. I think that, especially Louisville, because I live 25 minutes from the big city of Louisville, which is the 16th largest city in the country. I think it'd be cool
to LA. So just
it doesn't compare to LA for sure.
Louisville better LAX.
Right. But I think it'd be pretty cool to have a veteran comedy show, even if we do it like at a nonprofit locally, preferably one that's easy access where there's a lot of parking and stuff. So yeah, we'll have to figure that out and see if we can get some of you guys, because like we had Brandon Johnston, who's a Marine Corps veteran out of South Carolina, Charleston, South Carolina. So when he got out of the Marine Corps, he went to the VA and they taught him how to become a comedian. I don't know if you are aware of the program that the VA has for that. I forget what it's called. But they actually taught him how to be a stand-up comedian at the VA. So I thought that was pretty neat.
Rehab program.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty
cool.
So
he had classes that he would go to and attend. So it might be something worth looking into. I don't know if it's something. I mean, you've been doing comedy for a while, but you can always shape your tools, more tools in your toolbox, I guess.
Yeah, I have a high willingness to learn, so I'm always open to like stuff like that. I'm in school right now using my VA benefits for creative writing just because I like to write, and I'm always like trying to get better at getting the ideas out and putting them in order,
Yeah. Sure. No, I think that would be super cool because I thought about it because I'm like you. I like to write as well, and I like to be creative. Like I mess around with some AI stuff, and I'll go in there and I'll put the topics that are in my brain. Like that intro song was one that I created on AI. I was like, hey, I want to talk about this. I want to talk about this, and and do that. But I would love to be able to just a freehand sit down and do some freehand stuff as well. And my thing is, I'm my own biggest critic. So like if I write something, I'm like, oh, that's junk. I'll rip it up, throw it away. It might be gold, but to me, it's junk. So
Yeah, that's part of the process. We're so rough on ourselves. We like
Yeah.
hardcore critics. But what's cool
Yeah.
about stand-up, and I always say this, I geek out on this shit. I could talk about stand-up for hours, but like we really do have this like awesome system in the art form where like if you're like a movie maker, you have to like all these resources, all this work, all this organization, all this coordination to make a movie, and then you put it out, and then okay, do people like it? You know, with like so many different art forms, you kind of just have to make it and then put it out. Whereas like with stand up, like you get to like write it and you can go work it and figure it out and do open mics and do some shows and listen and figure out and work it and really like hone it down and trim the fat and expand it and trim it down and expand it. And it's just an awesome process. And I feel very lucky to be good at it and to be like so in love with it because it's awesome. I feel spoiled in a way because like the system of it, finding it and figuring it out is it's awesome. And it's not easy, but it's a very like once you know what you're doing, it's a simple system. You're just writing, you're just analyzing and critiquing and commentating on thoughts and ideas and events, and you write it down, you write, and then you go run them. Like when I leave after this, I'm gonna go run some stuff for a show.
Heck yeah. My wife, I think I'm funny, but my wife will tell you that I'm not funny. Of course, she's my wife. Other people laugh at my jokes, but she doesn't.
Yeah.
So of course.
So have you ever written, it's kind of a three-parter, anything of the guys that you served with, have you pitched it to them, and what was their response?
Oh, yeah. I got a buddy, my buddy Wells lives in North Carolina. And he's one of like my biggest fans. Like he's one of the guys that when I have new bits, I call him. I go, okay, so I got this bit about race cars and this and that, and I'll tell him, and he'll start laughing over the phone, which is also a really big part of the process for me. Everybody's different. There's many ways to do it, but being able to have buddies that you can run stuff with, you can be like, yo, what's this idea? It's like just being able to talk shit with your boys. Like that's kind of like the beginning of any good like idea is you get it from like kind of conversing with people and screwing around and talking shit and giving your ideas and bullshitting around. And if you don't have that, you can still do it. But I think it's a very necessary part to the science of like figuring out what works and coming up with things is calling your buddies and having people that like to joke around with you and running it. Like I've come up with so much material. Like you can sit down and be like, all right, what's new? What do I like? What do I hate? What changed? And like try to come up with material that way. Like what's going on in the news? But being able to like stand out on a sidewalk in front of a comedy club at midnight with your buddies and just talk about heartbreak and what happened yesterday and what's going on with the war, and just being able to talk shit and then roasting each other, talking shit about each other, give each other a hard time. Like you come up with everything right there in that flow state, in that zone where you're just having fun with your boys.
Heck yeah. And it's good to get that good, genuine feedback too, right? So it's not, you can tell the fake laugh from a real laugh, and you're like, okay, that was fake. That one might not work where I'm going tonight. Let's try something else, right? Or even just a different delivery method. You could do the same thing, just a different delivery method. So like you said, changing it up, finding what works for the demographic that you're performing for that night. And how about crowd play? Do you do any crowd play?
I'm not a crowd work guy. That being said, I have gotten better over the years at being able to accept gifts from the crowd. And by that, I mean, like, you have to be open. You don't have to do anything. It's no one way to do it. But if you're doing a show and if you're comfortable enough and you're confident enough in what you're doing, there are these moments with the audience where whether it's a joke doesn't land or a joke lands and someone has like more than a laugh, they have some type of reaction to it.
Like a big cackle or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe it's the laugh. Maybe it's their physicality. Maybe it's the way they didn't laugh. Someone spills a drink, someone heckles you, being able to use that and have like an honest reaction to it and being able to comment on it and have an opinion on it that gets the laugh is like it's nothing you can really like write for, you know. It just happens in the moment. You're just in the state, you're just in the flow. And I've gotten better and more comfortable over the years at being able to pick up on those gifts. Like, oh, this just happened and makes me think of this, you know? So I'm not so much like, what do you do for work? What's going, you know, where are you from? What's your name? You know, but I'm more of like, you know, being able, like I did a show the other night and, there was two very elderly women in the front row, and they were like you could tell they were some foxes maybe back in the day, you know, they would still take care of themselves. You know, they're done up. And, you know, I couldn't help it. I got on stage. I was like, hey, ladies, how's your night going? They're like, good. I was like, when did your husbands die? You know, and it's just like, they just got them right. I couldn't help it. You know, it's just part of it. And, you know, being able to just have fun up there. It's really hard to get out of your head sometimes and to, you know, make fun sometimes. You get so lockstep in the jokes and will they not like it or whatever. It's like, don't forget, like they came to have fun. Like, you know, they want to screw us, particularly, you know, people in the front row. You're at a club. Yeah,
you don't sit there and expect, oh, he's not going to say anything to me, because you might be the first one the comedian says, what's up with your reverse yarmulke going on back there?
Right.
I mean, if you go or colored in something.
If you go to a comedy club and you sit in the front row, you're begging to be picked on. I mean, that's just.
And some people, you can read it on them. Sometimes you can see, like, oh, this person, like, you can tell body language. You're like, oh, they didn't want to sit up front, you know. And you could like save those people, leave them alone. You know, you don't make it weird.
Yeah.
But for the most part, people are like, yeah, I got this weird shirt. I am weird. You know, people, they want to talk, which can be a whole nother thing too. You can like accidentally open up a can of worms with someone that's just dying to like start talking. You're like, no, that's not what this is, dog. I was just saying you look weird. I don't need to know your backstory.
I remember I went to a comedy show.
That would be Willis.
Yeah. Well, so here I'm gonna tell a story here. So the wife and I, we hold on. I think we were just either just married or not married yet. I think we were. Me, my wife, and her best friend went to a comedy club. Louisville Comedy Caravan is the club, and it was a high profile comedian. It wasn't Ron White, it wasn't Larry Cable Guy. It was one of those three. Not Jeff Foxworthy. Who's the other guy? There's four of them. Who's the other?
Dan or not Dan? Oh shoot! Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about. The other guy, Larry the Cable Guy, Jeff Foxworthy,
brown hair dude,
Ron White, and damn, I know the other guy's name. That's funny. Jeff Foxworthy was the first VHS stand-up comedy I ever watched. Was
nice.
Blue Stingray Boots.
So we weren't in front row. We were in the next behind. I was sitting facing the stage. My wife and her best friend sitting across from me, and I had my NASCAR Dale Earnhardt jacket on, and he singled us out, man. Put the spotlight right on our table. He said, "Look at this table. It looks like a blind date gone wrong." I was like, "Oh my god!" But it was fun, man.
I think Bill Engvall.
Yes, that's who it was. Yeah, and it was hilarious. We had a great time. Like I said, laughter is amazing, my friend. So I know you got to cut it short, man. It's right almost 5:00 your time, right?
Yeah, about 5 till.
So I got the website scrolling here across the bottom of the screen. Email is info@rapidfirecomedytour.org. So, like, if somebody wanted to reach out to you, the best way is the email, correct? The info?
Yeah, email. You can find me on Instagram, too, the Rapid Fire Comedy Tour on Instagram. I mean, like you said, TikTok, too. My TikTok is like, it's got a different name. It's for my character stuff and all that. But, yeah, any place you can find me online, emailing, all that stuff, man. The best thing you can do is go to the website and read about us. You know, we got videos from, like, post-show interviews, things like that. There's a whole section with, like, letters of recommendation. These units will, like, you know, after the show, they'll write up like a review on us and thank us for coming. I put all those letters on the website. So check out the website, see what we're up to. And, you know, if you got an event coming up or whether you're active duty military or maybe you're just a group of good old boys hanging out somewhere and you got something going on, you want some comedy, you know, hit us up. I'll come out, work with any size budget, man. I just want to do the show. And then also, because we're a nonprofit, you know, you can go donate on the website. You know, our number one cost right now is, when we do a show here in SoCal, we rent a van, fill it with gas. I take the comics out to In-N-Out after if we got a little bit of money, but for the most part, we're just renting a van and filling with gas. So it's like you go donate $5, like that's gas in the van. So it's just donate.
Well, for you, that's not even a gallon, though, right? Right now, out there,
brother. Yeah, now it's $6 a gallon. Oh my God, it's $6 a gallon. McDonald's hash browns are $3.49. I'm losing my goddamn mind, bro.
What the heck, man? Yeah, because it's almost $4 here, if not $3.99, $4.19 or something like that. It just depends on where you go, which gas station.
Yeah,
I don't know how you guys out. What'd you say, Gunny?
We're at $3.49.
Oof. Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know how you guys out there, cost of living wise, out there in California, man. I don't know how y'all do it.
Oh, it's bad. It's bad out here. It's people are leaving. People are fleeing. It's
Yeah.
This state, in the next, every year, just a few more people leave. I don't know how they're going to keep it up. It's very interesting to watch. Luckily I'm an artist and I've kind of made peace with the fact that I'll probably die poor. So I'm like, hey, to me it's just another Sunday. But you kind of seeing everybody here realize like, oh, we gotta run for the hills. Like this is bad. I got buddies that had businesses in California and they left, they moved. They're like, I just can't, you can't run a business here. You can't do it. You have to, in order to run a business here, you almost have to commit fraud. You almost have to like lie, cheat, and steal to make it all work you just, it's damn near impossible. California's taxes, if you pay business taxes here in April, in like July, you'll get a letter that goes, hey, last year you paid, or this year when you did your taxes, you paid like $1,000. Next year, you're probably going to owe about $1,000. Why don't you send us a check for half of that now? In fact, you know what? It's due by September. So cut that check early. We'll see it in September. You're like, what? What did you just say?
That's crazy. Yeah. No, I'll stay here in good old Kentucky. The wife wants to move to Florida. I don't know if I want to do that either because it's crazy expensive down there as well. So who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah, but not for veterans because you don't pay the taxes.
Well, there's that. All right. So I connected, I sent out, like tagged Eric Knowles with Article 15 Comedy, also with Brandon Johnson. I put him in here as well with OFP Comedy. I'm going to connect you guys via email as well, because you guys do a lot of similar things when it comes to like, for the troops and stuff like that. So I think it'd be good to get you connected with those guys. Cause I know when we were talking offline on the phone the other day, you said you hadn't heard of them. So I'm assuming if you hadn't heard of them, they haven't heard of you. Maybe they have, I don't know, but hopefully I can get you guys connected. I know, with Article 15 Comedy with Eric Knowles, or Shiloh Harris and Al Gonzalez. I think his name was Gonzalez. Three comedians there. That I'd like to, get you connected with, and hopefully we can, work out some things. And heck, I might even, if I got Jamie Utley's email still, I'll get you connected with Jamie Utley as well. I should have his email because we had him on the show. But I think it'd be super cool to get you guys into Kentucky and do a big, because we have Fort Knox. I'm gonna reach out to MWR at Fort Knox and see if we can do a big comedy show up there. I think that'd be pretty cool.
That'd be awesome.
And Gunny and I could
too, because it's just right down the road.
Reach out to what?
Campbell.
Fort Campbell? Yeah, we can reach out to Fort Campbell too. Yeah, we can do that. See if we can talk to the MWR down there and see about, because I can reach out to Rich. He can get in contact with MWR down there. And then I'm gonna send you out to all these other veteran podcasters that we're connected with, that I think you'd be a great fit for their show, like Triple Threat Vets and the Misfit Nation. And you being a Marine, if Tab's still doing her the Oath We Took podcast, get you connected with her and a bunch of other veteran podcasters to get you out there, man. So because there's people that might not know who you are because you're out there in California and they're in Florida or wherever they're at, and get your information out there, my friend.
Thank you guys so much, man. I appreciate you.
You're welcome. I know you got to get going because you got other things to do. It's 5:00 your time. So I want to say thank you for coming on here and hanging out with Gunny and I for this hour. It's been our pleasure talking with you.
Thank you guys, man. I'll talk to you soon. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
man, thank you.
We'll talk to you soon, brother.
All right. Bye.
Later. How cool was that, Gunny?
Good show, man. I mean, so we never got to do a warrior night. They talked about doing it the one time and just never followed through with it. But having a big field X and then just having a big party after the field X is over with. That'd been cool to have somebody like Michael come in and just ease the tension a little bit, right? Because after that 9-10 day field op, everybody's on friggin' edge. They just want to get off and take a shower and get a good meal, a hot meal, a real meal, not something that comes in a can or a vat. Or even like we had our mess night, in Okinawa, to have somebody like him come in even if it was just a half hour, just a little half hour thing, as we're doing the thing with the mess night. But yeah, I mean, it's a cool thing that he's doing, and the good thing is he's out there in Cali, so yeah, it sucks for him driving to 29 Palms or driving to Mount Warfare Training Center or driving to San Diego or even parts of Pendleton, but he's doing a great thing out there for sure.
Yeah, I think it's super cool because I don't remember not once when we were on active duty if they even offered like a warrior night or anything like that. I can't remember if they did. I remember going to the movie theater that one time and watching the movie, and they marched us up there.
We did not. Yeah, with 2-8 we did not. When we did that 10-day field op that led, then we went right into the McCrest. They talked about doing it out there at the LHA deck by the back gate.
Yeah,
but nothing ever came of it. But then the only other thing we truly had is we had that mess night, which was also the birthday celebration when we got back from Korea, back in Schwab.
So I got something. I don't know if you can see it up here. Let's see this right here. Do you know what that is? Does that look familiar to you? All right, let me get it and bring it closer. Where were we in 2000?
Greece.
It's a Greek beer.
Yeah.
We were not supposed to bring them back, but I somehow I brought one back with me. I found it the other day. I was like, oh snap, I forgot I even had that.
I have a hat somewhere that I traded with one of the Greek soldiers, and I remember he had my cover on and his command caught him, and they're like, that's another day being out of uniform. And I'm like, what? And the guy's like, well, for our discipline, we get days added on. So it's a 2-year minimum that they had to do. And any type of disciplinary action, they added days onto that 2 years. And I think he was telling me if you went UA, I think he called it something different. But if you went UA, it was 2 days for every day that you're UA. I was like, holy cow, I'm glad we don't do anything like that. Could you imagine? But I mean, they were in all, you must serve, your minimum 2 years. And I don't think they could get above E3 until they hit that 2-year mark. And then they had the option to re-enlist. And upon re-enlistment, if they were good and the command approved it, they could get, their E4 or whatever it was. But yeah, I got some stuff downstairs and some totes. I've got some stuff from, I think I got stuff from Korea too. I know my ex-wife found my box and destroyed a ton of my stuff. But it's whatever.
Yeah, you gotta love it. You got to love it.
But all right. I will say yesterday, I had 5 soldiers from 214 10th Mountain Division that came in and did this year's Mogadishu, Kentucky blend.
Ooh, awesome.
It is a 3-barrel blend. It is very, very smooth, and it will be released on the Saturday before Memorial Day.
Oh,
And
nice.
it's only gonna be in the JMatt gift shop for now. For
Okay.
now.
So not
2
not
years
online.
yeah, 2 years ago, we sold out in 6 weeks, of 500 bottles. Last year, it was, I think, around 9 weeks, 8 or 9 weeks, we sold out. So it depending on how fast it goes in the store is gonna depend on if we put it online or not. But yeah, man, what a great group of guys that I had come in. One of them was one of the guys that I met down at Warrior Rounds. He brought
Oh,
in,
nice.
4 of the other guys that were over Mogadishu with 214 and 10th Mountain. So yeah, it's their wax design, their bottle choice, man, it's gonna be beautiful this year.
Heck yeah, I'm super excited to see it and all that good jazz. So yeah, and he was supposed to be your speaker. I think is he still going to speak day of?
He's gonna speak during the ceremony piece for this year's Mogadishu Mile, and he's putting a team together. So he's putting a team of four of those guys together to come in and compete during the Mogadishu Mile event. So excited about that too.
Heck yeah! All right, Gunny, you know what time of night it is. Are you ready?
Oh, it's been a while. Let's see.
I know.
Yeah, let's go with it.
I had to do last whatever show it was, Mondays or Sundays. But anyway, here we go.
Gunny's Words of Wisdom.
The people calling you selfish for putting yourself first are the same people who benefited for putting yourself last.
You're gonna have to say that again. Let me go full screen with you.
Yeah. The people calling you selfish for putting yourself first are the same people who benefited for putting yourself last.
That's powerful. That's why you have to watch. Yeah, the people around you, your circle. You got to watch them.
It's one of those things, and I've been on both sides of it, and I moved on from a nonprofit for one, it was mentally taxing, it was emotionally taxing. I needed a break. I was at a point that I didn't want to do it anymore. But instead of just absolutely being done and quitting and saying I'm not going to do anything with you ever again, I took a break and I got shunned for it. It's like I've been doing this stuff for 8 years straight. Every single event that you have ever had, anytime you ever needed me to do anything, I was there. And now I
Yeah.
want to take a break from my mental health, and you can't cope with that? You're gonna put me on the friggin' back burner? Okay, I'm done. See you later.
Yeah.
Bye.
That's the same way with me. Like when I stepped away from nonprofit work, dude, and just was focusing on me and the things that I needed to get done, it's like people forget about you, and then they're like, "Oh well, you don't do what you used to do anymore." I'm like, "No, I still do it. I just don't do it as much as I
Yeah.
used to do," and it just drives me bonkers, man. And you got to pick up the pieces, and you got to kind of rebuild the people around you, because a lot of those people I don't associate with anymore. Because to me, if you're going to drop me like a bad habit because I decided to take care of myself first,
Yeah.
then I don't need you in my circle. I don't need you in my people. Like I got Aloha Blessing here on TikTok right now. She's in here in the chat. My sister from another mister. She's from up there, up in Maine area as well. I think she still lives in Maine. I think I can't remember, but man, she's my sister from another mister. She's amazing. She's in my circle. If I ever need somebody to talk to, I just reach out to Lisa and be like, "Hey, what's going on?" If I need something. So You just gotta keep that circle small, bro.
Mental fatigue and compassion fatigue is a real thing. And I neglected myself, but also my wife and my two kids for a very, very, very long time. And when COVID hit and nothing was going on, I realized that I missed so much while I was gone.
Yeah.
My kids, the growth of my kids, just the their sports, their school stuff, birthdays, anniversaries. Speaking of which, I'm missing my wife's birthday / our anniversary is Friday,
Oh
and
man.
I'm on the road. So missing it again, but I'll make up for it when I get back. And she's going to Europe this year, so she ought to be happy.
So Lisa says she's from O Town.
I'm from Howland. Old Town is like 15 to 20 minutes away from where I grew up.
Yeah. So Lisa says
We
she's
used,
from
we
O
used to go
Town.
we used to go fight people in Old Town in Indian Island.
Oh, there you go. So I love that. Yeah, y'all. She said so close. He lives in
Yeah.
Kentucky now, but he
I
just
was at the governor's in Orono last Tuesday.
so her maiden name is Dement, Dyment.
Dude, that's like saying friggin', do you know my cousin who was in the Marine Corps? And no,
Yeah,
bro,
she said her nickname is Punchy.
there's not a whole lot of people in Maine, but there's still a lot of people in Maine.
Julie said she could send me to you, Gunny. He can live with you. Bro, I was just talking about you, Eric. We just had a comedian on a rapid fire comedy tour out in California, Marine Corps veteran that goes to bases and does comedy shows. I was like, I need to get you and him linked together, Eric. So thank you for coming in, brother.
Yeah, matter of fact, I was at Pat's Pizza in Orono last Tuesday.
She
And
said
that you met.
she said she's the only Hawaiian in that area. So you would know her if you knew her.
I mean, look at my hat. I mean, come on now. Hello.
Yeah. Awesome, Eric. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you for coming in. All right, Gunny, it's time for
the joke of the day.
We should have had Michael do it while he was on.
I know. I thought about it. What do you call a military officer who visits the bathroom way too often?
A lieutenant.
You should call him a lieutenant. Awesome.
No.
I had to go with a semi funny one this time.
Yeah. I mean, you could call him the poo tenant.
Yes. So, on good, exciting news, we are one step closer to having our shirt site up and running. We have 4 shirts, or technically 5 shirts. First shirt is a HomeFront SitRep shirt with just a big logo on the front, American flag on the sleeve. The second shirt is hashtag You're Not Alone. Eric's typing. How many veterans does it take to change a light bulb? I don't know, Eric. How many? So second shirt, hashtag You're Not Alone. Super excited about that one. Third shirt is hashtag Be Someone Stranger. Fourth shirt. You wouldn't know because you weren't there, man. You weren't there. I love it, Eric. I love it. We need to, we need to get Eric back on the show and do a follow up with Eric and the boys. Eric, we need to make that happen, sir. We need to make that happen. And then the fourth shirt, this is the one that I like the most. I love all the shirts, but this one is called the Spicy Pineapple. It's a pineapple grenade with the top on it. And then on the back, it says tossing joy in people's lives since 1906. So super, super excited about that shirt. And then we're working on a Red Friday shirt as well. Remember everyone deployed working on that shirt as well. Super excited about that one as well. So, it is what it is. Gunny, let's do this. You're up, sir.
Yeah, you're not alone. You still have worth. You still have value. Don't let the dark days win, and surround yourself with people that are going to build you up and not tear you down.
Amen. Amen. To every veteran who carries unseen scars, know this: you're not alone. The battles within don't have to be fought in silence because your brothers and sisters still stand beside you. The uniform may come off, but the bond remains. And together we heal, together we rise, and together we carry each other forward. And the key word there is together. I know there was a big debate while ago on TikTok right before we jumped on live here about infantry guys compared to support guys and stuff of that nature. But man, we got to stop that, bro. The brothers and sisters, we got to stop that because we all served in the military, regardless.
I got one
if you,
question. I got one
yeah,
question to all the infantry guys out there. Could you do your job without the support elements?
nope.
Case closed. Shut your
Yep.
mouth and drive on.
Amen. Amen. So the key word there was together. All right. Hashtag be someone stranger. I'm super excited about this shirt to come out because we, as human, we are more apt to talk to a complete stranger than the ones we love the most, right? So if you're out and about and you see somebody and it looks like they're having a bad day, go up to them and say, "Hey, how are you doing?" And if they give you the red flags, "I'm okay, I'm hanging in there, I'm living the dream," ask the next hard question. How are you really doing? And be ready for that conversation because it could be a 5-minute conversation. It could be an 8-hour conversation. And just listen. Don't try to fix them. A lot of times we just need to get it out. Just let it out and don't try to fix them. All right, Gunny.
Yeah, it takes a village. We can't do this alone. And, reach out to, Willis been on TikTok all day. It seems like didn't seem
No,
like he
not
did
all
anything
day.
today other than be on TikTok. But there's a bunch of people on this platform. All the platforms we're listening to. Pick up your phone, open up your contact list, scroll through there, and blindly hit somebody, call them, ask them how they're doing, tell them you need the buddy check. Just vent.
Yeah.
Your voice might be the one that saves them.
There goes my damn camera again. It automatically came on and started tracking me. I'm like, check out sofmissions.org, ladies and gents. I will tell you, sofmissions.org is, you got your different levels of nonprofits out there, right? You got your high level nonprofits, and then you got your next level nonprofits. This one here, man, I will tell you, it is what I would call a top tier nonprofit. And the reason I'm saying they're top tier nonprofit is because of the care that you receive while there, and then the care that you receive for 365 days afterwards.
I just did
Um,
my 60-day follow-up today.
Same. I got mine in my email. I need to answer it and respond back. I need to reach out to uh, Golfing Bob. I forget what his rank is, but Coach Bob. I need to reach back out to him and also reach back out to Carmelo with FDVA down there. Try to get it, get some things going with that. But man, 365 days afterwards, they send you an email or a phone call, check in on you. There's not many nonprofits out there that do that. They do have 2 all female clinics that you can go to if you're a female. And man, I tell you what, this
If you're not comfortable going in with males, they have all female because they have
yes,
included females in the other clinics. It's
and it's
just depending on your level of comfortability.
yeah, and then it's not just for military guys, it's also first responders. When you go fill out the application, if you're a first responder, where it says branch, Gunny says scroll all the way down to the bottom and it'll have fire, police, EMS, I believe. So you can click on one of those if that pertains to you.
And they
Um,
have, if you live in the Tampa area, they have a golf outing happening this weekend.
Yeah,
It's
this
it's
weekend.
one of their fundraiser events that they have for the year, and it's happening this weekend. So sofmissions.org. It should be on the webpage of how you can get involved with that.
Yeah. So go check out sofmissions.org. Up next, our community partners here, man. Heroesmediagroup.com. That's heroesmediagroup.com. Homefront SitRep is a proud family member of the HMG family. Have been now for a little over 2 years. Adam Bird and his team, they are phenomenal. Anything that we need, they will help us along that journey. So check out heroesmediagroup.com. Up next is reachacrossamerica.org/radio. We are we have been on Reach Across America Radio now for almost 2 years. Thursday nights, 11 p.m. Eastern. That's Thursday nights, 11 p.m. Eastern. You can find Homefront SitRep on Reach Across America Radio. The listen live link is reachacrossamerica.org/radio. So check us out on Thursday nights there. And also just go check them out. All the great shows that they have. Up next is sameflagsameoath.com. Uncle Sam is wearing our Marine It Down shirt back there. So go check out sameflagsameoath.com. Small veteran owned t-shirt company in Katy, Texas, or outside of Katy, Texas. So go check out sameflagsameoath.com. Up next is eliteengraving24.com. This is a small two-person, both veterans, company here in Kentucky. They do all kinds of engraving, not just hats and stuff like that, but they did create our hat, our Homefront SitRep hat, which is right here.
Yeah, I'm glad you have yours because mine's still attached to my bag because I took them to Maine with me, and my bag's still not unpacked from the trip and me getting out of the hospital.
Heck yeah. I brought it down. I was like, I'm just going to bring it down just in case. So go check out eliteengraving24.com and see all the good work they're doing. Gunny, you got this one?
Yeah, Valor Coins and Pins. Brent and Brian Casey, co-founders of Valor Coins and Pins, also the grandsons of the late Herschel Woody Williams, a Medal of Honor recipient from World War II at Iwo Jima. Veteran-owned nonprofit or a business. Brent is an Army veteran. Coins, pins, medals, poker chips, anything that you need in that realm, Brent and Brian will take great care of you. They don't charge anything for your artwork fee. They don't charge setup fees. You're only going to pay for your dies and the product you're ordering from them.
Heck yeah. Up next.
Yeah, RDC Shoe Company, RDC Shoes. Darren Davis, Marine veteran and former police officer. Him and his wife started this shoe company. Willis has the Patriot shoe there in front of him. The fit is amazing, comfortability is amazing. So that one right now. Then they have the Glory. So where you see the stars on the shoe is red and white, and then the tongue will be the blue with the stars, and on the back it will have the Folds of Honor, and the portion of the proceeds goes to Folds of Honor. For that shoe right there, a portion of the proceeds goes to the Woody Williams Foundation. And RDC Shoes and Valor Coins and Pins have both been selected as America 250 companies.
What's going on, Jennifer Gilpin over on TikTok? I want to give her a big shout out. She's amazing. So go check out Jen502 on TikTok if you're watching out there. She's amazing. I've known Jennifer for quite a long time now. She used to be the community ambassador for Mission Barbecue of St. Matthews, and she is phenomenal when it comes to fundraising and stuff. I'd like to get her connected with the Moog Mile Gunny. I think she would be a great asset to the team. So I think you and her need to sit down and have lunch together one day.
Yeah, we talked on the phone a while back, and we've got everything lined up for this year already, as far as all of our expenses are covered so far.
Yeah, so I think getting you and her, especially for next year, getting her linked together with the Moog Mile, I think she'd be a great asset to the team. So we definitely work on that. And she said I could be on your podcast. You definitely can, Jen. We're going to talk about that for sure. All right. Last but not least is HomeFrontSitRep.com. Go check out HomeFrontSitRep.com. You can see all these great veteran nonprofits, business owners, comedians, everybody that we've had on the show. Our links to our merch site. So our shirt and our hat is underneath the merch. You can go to the events page. If there's a veteran nonprofit event going on locally, or if I see it nationally, I will add it to the calendar there. So you can actually go to the calendar and click on it and see all the information and stuff like that. So go check out HomeFrontSitRep.com. I think that's it, my friend. What do you think, Gunny?
Yeah. Feels good to be back. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I love when you're here.
Well, yeah, because you can dub off and I can pick up your slack.
Well, I don't like it when you're in the hospital.
I don't like when I'm in the hospital.
We don't have a show like a guest for tomorrow. I don't know why we don't have a guest for tomorrow. That's weird. Anyway, me and Gunny might just bump our gums. We might just bring some people in. Who knows? We might just bring some people in. It's not the Marine Corps League meeting tomorrow, is it?
No, that's only the second.
Yeah, I think it's the next. But I have a show. We have a show next. I don't know. We'll have to figure it out. I'll have to look at the calendar for Marine Corps League meeting.
Yeah.
But anywho, it is that time of night, my friend.
My daggone bedtime.
I know, right? I need to go apologize to my kid. I kind of made her mad and upset at me for splashing my computer with a water gun. I was not expecting it. Good night, Jen. But like we always say on HomeFront SitRep, stay safe out there. We got your six. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this show.
Suggestions and comments are always welcome.
Cannot wait to have another great show with y'all.
Don't forget you can find HomeFront SitRep on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.
Stay safe out there. I got your six.